What's going on, everybody? I have a special presentation for you today here on the channel. As you may or may not recall, before I started this channel, I worked for several years on another channel here on YouTube called Screen Junkies, and my two office mates for many, many years were Spencer Gilbert and Joe Starr, who were both writers with me. We wrote a lot of the Honest trailers together. We did a lot of things like movie fights together, and then I left, and then Joe is now at a different place, and Spencer is still there doing great stuff at Fandom and Screen Junkies. But last year, Joe contacted both of us and suggested that we get back together, just the three of us, to chat and hang out, and we did. That was an audio exclusive on my podcast channel last year, although you can now see that, or I guess I should say hear that, here on YouTube. There's a little card up in the corner, so if you didn't hear the first time we got the group back together, you can do that right now here on YouTube. Of course, as our schedules go, and we knew this was going to happen, it was many more months before the three of us could get back together and chat, and that's exactly what we did. So that's what this video is. It's me, Joe, and Spencer just kind of talking rather aimlessly, if I'm being quite honest, about different stuff that's happening, some different segments that we came up with for the show. I think we've decided to call the show Friends from Work now, because that's really what we started out as, is Friends from Work. So this is not a video podcast. You're not going to be able to see us. It is mostly audio, although I have cut in some visual references to some of the things that we're talking about. But this was really something that we wanted to do after sharing the first episode with the audio listeners. So enjoy episode 2 of what I think we're now calling Friends from Work with me, Joe Starr, and Spencer Gilbert. I love those guys. It's always so much fun talking to them, and I'm glad that we can now share it here with you on YouTube. You want to hear something funny? Funny story. I forgot to hit record.
Yep. Wow.
We were doing so good.
Well, actually, no. Hang on. We have our individual audio.
I'm not recording. Are you recording?
Wait, were you not recording, Spencer? Oh,
No.
Okay. Well, then, yeah. No, we got to start over.
Okay. Should I be? All right. I'm gonna start recording myself.
Could this podcast have started any other way? Welcome to the real start of the podcast. Let's catch you up on what you missed.
Should I hit record or not?
Yes, hit record.
JTE.
Okay, recording.
JTE, I told him to hit the record button.
JT, get the stick.
God, JT.
Get the stick.
I'd like to think it was the spirit of JTE. Hey guys, welcome to Three Friends episode 2.
2 episodes in and we already have a lost episode.
I know, right? We could hear mine and Joe's portion of the comment of the discussion and the bonus features. I'm Dan, that's Spencer, that's Joe. Spencer's got a heart out. 30 seconds, guys. What have we been talking about? Spenny, you got something coming up, right?
Let me just clarify that a heart out means a deadline for people that might not be, in the corporate world. Pants remain on. Wait, so you want me to recap the last episode we just recorded?
Rock hard for this
Just
podcast.
what's your situation right now? You said you're at a mental low.
Yes, I said I was at my lowest point mentally, but fine emotionally, just because I'm going on vacation starting tomorrow. And I just finished my last little morsel of work at the content factory. I now have to pack and do all that crap. And I basically had to do double duty all week because, as you know, when you leave, the internet keeps going. So you have to do double the work so that your feeds still have things in them while I'm on a beach somewhere drinking margarita.
And I was discussing that I'm stressing out because I'm getting married in the fall.
And then we're turning your wedding into content. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's July, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do for those 3 weeks? And then we were discussing the possibility that I just, instead of like making up stuff to pre-do, I just turned my channel over to the two of you for 3 weeks.
Which I think will be fun.
Or we monetize my wedding completely.
By the way, I have a Muttley cough now because I had COVID a couple weeks ago. I finally got it after 4 years, and it's just left me the glorious gift of a wacky racers villain cough.
So I have a few more wedding ideas for you, Dan.
Okay,
Let's do it.
Wedding buffet mukbang.
I will say, because the guest list isn't huge, but we have there's some minimums that we meet because that's the place is like kind of a all-in place. It is going to be
It's like an open mic,
closest you can get to a mukbang. We will be feeding and providing drinks to people in copious amounts. So that's actually we're halfway there. We're halfway.
All right, Mara makeup tutorial, wedding day makeup tutorial.
That's a good video.
That could be a good one. That could be
big numbers. That'll
expand my base too, honestly, because I don't really do anything like that currently.
Yeah. Wedding gift unboxing.
I should rate it too. It should be a unbox and rating so that it's just like everybody knows where they stand with us after the wedding. It's like, come on, you could have done better.
Face reveal. Dan Murrell face reveal.
Have I
just
not
know those do well
face?
when you finally reveal what somebody looks like when they. But I guess you kind of blew that.
Yeah, I should have stayed hidden. I should have put on a mask and been anonymous all these years. I could have done so much better. Damn it! I blew that.
Can you cure any blind kids?
Yeah, we let 300 wedding guests here for the first time.
What would Mr. Beast do with your wedding? Thank goodness he didn't get on that sub.
I know. That's the thing with Mr. Beast. Like because I don't, for someone that's on YouTube, I don't engage with a whole lot of YouTube drama. So I don't understand all of the stuff that happens. And it seems like everything I read about Mr. Beast is either like in the news, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then, but when I hear people discuss him, they're like, he's awful. And it's like, wait, but like everything I read about him is like, he spent $5 million to set up a charity thing. It's like, why don't people like what's the deal there?
I think what it is for me, at least, and I'm very tangentially aware of this, it's like what he's doing is good, but the existence of it is vaguely dystopian. It's like something that would be on TV in RoboCop. Of like all these poor impoverished people, like I'm like a goofy YouTuber that's helping them instead of like a system that's completely failed them. And it's like it's like winning the lottery is the only way out of your situation, like Mr. Beast helping you. It's like, okay, like I'm happy for them, but it doesn't make me feel good about the world in general.
I mean, I get that. To be fair, a good 90% of what I see every day now, it feels like it came out of RoboCop. Like the other day I saw a trailer for Is It Cake season 2 coming on Netflix. Yeah. I'm like, we live in RoboCop. This is RoboCop time.
Gentlemen, I'm not too proud to tell you that I really loved Is It Cake season 1.
It's good. It's not bad. I will say that I prefer, I need to look up the Japanese name of it, where they let you loose in a room where some items are chocolate and some items aren't, and you can only test with your mouth.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my God.
I'm just doing Japanese game show Bite Furniture.
That might be the title in English, actually.
The show is called Candy or Not Candy.
Perfect.
We were scrolling through Netflix yesterday, and it's a show from Japan. And the show, in the US, the show displays as, I believe the title, it displays as My Husband Won't Fit. And it has on the bathroom, the little animation on the bathroom, like there's the dude has like a green check mark over his private area, and the woman has like a red X over her private area. But then when you watch the trailer, the literal name of the show is My Husband's Penis Won't Fit. And it's an 8-episode series, and it's about a man and a wife, and they're married, and it's right there in the title. And the weird thing is it looks vaguely like a very sweet show, but it's literally called, the name of the show is My Husband's Penis Won't Fit.
They're light years ahead of us in reality television. That's coming soon to Peacock.
Yeah.
Perfect name.
I want to do we were talking in the Lost episode. Mm-hmm. Dan mentioned a buddy was sending pictures of his kids. Spenny, if you don't mind me put on spot, I'm fascinated by your daughter's doing kid karate, and I think that's awesome. And how's that going?
Karate's going well. I think that it's I'm thrilled to have a toddler who is excited about that and engaged in that, and I find it utterly hilarious that any adult would willingly go through this absolutely goofy thing for children. But like if you're 3-4 years old and like you need something to work on your focus,
and you're a karate dad now.
Yeah, once a week. Yeah, I'm sure there's levels to this. This is the most unserious dojo you could find.
Love it.
There's no board breaking. There's no sparring. There's no anything. It's just put on.
Is that what it's called? Please tell me that's what it's called. Like the name of it is the most unserious dojo you can find. That's the sign.
Yeah, it's that in Japanese. But it's just it's very cute, and like all the parents are just on their phones anyway. So for me, it's just like 40 precious minutes off. But I'm sure she's doing great in there.
She's just being a menace and just roundhouse kicking the shit out of other kids, and Spencer's just playing Wordle.
Yeah,
that's great, honey. Good job.
You did good.
I have to email Lon back. Hang on.
I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I lost respect for karate in middle school when I had a friend who was a black belt in karate, and I had a friend who was, I don't know, like junior varsity wrestling or something like that. And at a sleepover, we made them fight. And the karate guy got wrecked like repeatedly. It wasn't even a question of what was better.
Well, because karate though and wrestling, those are like two totally different disciplines, right? Like karate's like, I mean, I'm the least martial arts expert here, obviously.
That karate boy better hope he has long legs and can stay away.
Yeah, it's like, isn't it all about like defense and like, oh, you don't use it, and like wrestling is like, I will murder you.
Yeah, I mean, he was also confined by our Kumite arena, which was like 10 boys with sleeping bags, ringing them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, really the least effective martial art. But you got to respect the tradition, and like I said, it's nice to get out of
40
the house.
minutes off once a week. Yeah,
I'll keep you posted with the belt progression. She wants the black belt, but we'll see.
I get it.
How long that lasts.
A black belt, like it's not like you get a black belt at 4 and then you have it forever. Like, do you have to trade them in? Is there like an upgrade process?
No, once you've earned it, you've earned it. I mean, I saw like a 7-year-old with one who I could kick the shit out of. Let's
be real.
I don't care what she's throwing at me. I'm stuffing it. But I think that you can't go backwards in belt.
No, I mean you can get worse at a thing and then definitely know you don't deserve to wear the thing as you put it on.
But it's like they don't take your Letterman sweater, after you score 4 touchdowns at Polk High.
Yeah, that's yours long after the divorce. I had sort of the opposite experience because my friend was like training us, for fun. And like, it was just me trying to be athletic. Right. And we'd go and test and they'd be like, you did enough. Here's your next belt. And then we would go train with my teacher's teacher in his class. And he trains like Olympic athletes. And I'm like the same belt as these murderers. And I'm just going like 3 minutes in. And I was like, this is not, the tiering system is flawed here. I should not be wearing this, as someone just effortlessly does 8 flips in front of me.
Well, we have these segments. So we want to do any of them or just want to, dick around? I don't care either way, honestly.
I feel like those segments they're a good dick around gateway,
Yeah, let's segment.
Yeah. How about do we want to talk about what we're not watching? Something that other people are watching that we're not watching?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a great segment. And this always leads to a good discussion because we can talk forever about what we're not watching.
Exactly.
I didn't watch The Flash, boys. And I feel free as a result. I didn't have to be a part of the discourse.
It was fine. I don't understand, and I said it on the channel. I don't understand the strategy behind like, we're gonna hype this thing up as the best movie of all time.
Isn't that sort of the trap they've now built for themselves, though? Because I'm sure even with Dark Phoenix, they were like, best X franchise film yet.
But like Tom Cruise was out there saying it was like the best, like you got Tom Cruise out and James Gunn out there saying it's one of the best superhero films ever made. It's like
it's an escalation game. Because back in the day, it was like, here's a mid-budget drama starring Robin Williams. It's pretty good. And people would go, that sounds fun. I'll go see it. And now it's like everyone has to convince you to leave your home to go. Like that's all people will come out for now is Tom Cruise screaming in their face that it's the best movie he's ever seen.
But why would Tom Cruise do that is a fascinating question, because that couldn't have happened naturally. He didn't just like unprompted profess his love for the Flash.
Yeah.
Or I just can't imagine a world where that happened.
It is weird.
Is this like a Zaslav like directive of like, okay, this is my first huge comic book movie. We need this to be the biggest film we've released this year. Let's make every phone call, like twist every ear and make them all walk up to a microphone and say how much the Flash is going to rock.
I think with Tom Cruise, he's like actually wants to ensure the survival of cinema. And so I think I think maybe nobody thought about it. I think if you just call Tom Cruise and you're like, hey man, can you hype up my movie so people go see it? He's like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. What?
Well, my theory for how he watched all of those is, I think Tom Cruise is actually stuck in an Edge of Tomorrow style time loop where he's able to spend one day watching that. Then Christopher McQuarrie shoots him in the head. He wakes up. And he can now see the other movie. He just kind of repeats that. That's also how they do all the Mission Impossible stunts. Is he does die, but then he just wakes up on a cargo
Holy
ship.
Shit! I think.
Okay, we're gonna move the ramp like 6 inches that way. Great, we're trying to
great. You might actually be onto something.
Find me when you wake up. He's crushed by an airplane.
See, I thought it was like a prestige thing where he has devised some sort of like a kill switch that every time his heart stops beating, another version of him wakes up in a tank somewhere.
Yeah, there's something otherworldly going on, that's for sure. I also didn't see The Flash because I don't want to, but I'll have to. So that's why I didn't watch it.
Sooner than you anticipated. They say
right?
Late July.
Yeah,
they're saying
they're dropping it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The thing is DOA at the box office. It is a dead fish. So the most you can do is just whatever you can at this point. No. I saw it. That was another drive. I was another drive 6 hours to see it movie for me.
Time well spent.
Did you at least have like some good conversations or catch up along the way?
I mean, it's always a nice ride with Mara. We have a nice discussion. It's a little bit of a breakaway from the grind when you're on the road for 5-6 hours to get to a movie. But here, I mean, honestly, Warner Brothers is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars on The Flash. My videos did pretty good. So technically I made more money off The Flash than Warner Brothers did. So I would say it paid off for me more than it did for Warner Brothers. So thanks, David Zaslav. You made me, a little bit of pocket change.
Maybe that's something else for the slop factory. Is you just pop a dash cam on for yourself and just like talk to it.
No. We will not review movies in a car. That's been done. You can't touch it.
Yeah, Jim. I am staying away from that. Never again. It ruined a perfectly good trip to New York for me. I walked the length of Manhattan stewing because somebody decided that they'd invented the idea of reviewing movies in cars, and it was a big thing.
Hear me out. You can't review a movie in the car. What if you do karaoke in a car?
Well, then we'd all be Emmy winners.
Oh.
By the way, we smoothed over the whole car review thing, but that was that was
James Corden though remains at large.
James Corden I continue to hate.
Monster.
He's coming back for more because he's doing I saw he's doing the big Emmy push this year for one more time. Although, did you see? I noticed I was voting for the Emmys this year, and Honest Trailers wasn't in the list of shows to like nominate. But I saw that I Think You Should Leave is now in our category, our former category, best short form variety series. Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's do a campaign to get any Honest Trailer voters to stand behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a campaign that I would proudly lose to that show.
We're back where we belong. We're winning Webbies, baby. Back where we belong.
Congratulations, by the way.
Was it the Webbies or the Streamies where the lady fell?
That was the Streamies. That was definitely the Streamies.
Was that the Streamies?
Yes, because that's the one that we all went to. I went to the Webbies one year, and it was in New York, and I never felt more out of place because they put all the Webby winners together. I would be talking, there's like a mixer, and I'm like, oh, you won a Webby, what'd you do? And it was like, oh, well, I wrote a new program that allows for different satellite medical offices around the world to communicate together and put together instructional videos on how to provide healthcare to third world nations. What do you do? I'm like, I write jokes about movies.
Hey.
Like, oh.
To be fair, that's not what most of the Webbies are for.
No, at the time I thought that we were critically important to society. So it was actually good to kind of give me some respect.
I'm not watching The Bear. Everyone else is.
That was going to be my I'm not watching. I'm also not watching The Bear, but I hear it's good.
I hear it's good, and I even watched the first couple episodes. But A, it's stressful.
It's very stressful.
B, I don't know. There's like a certain. I've worked in kitchens, but it's not. But not in like a professional restaurant setting, but like in a group like catering kitchen. They treat it like in these shows, they treat it like you're going to war. Like there's such a seriousness about like, oh, I gotta cook, I gotta elevate the dish. It just kind of makes me roll my eyes.
Spencer's like, the real experience is much more like the Dane Cook film Waiting.
Exactly. They nailed it. They should have stopped after that. But I don't know. I feel like cooking and like food has got like a kind of an unearned gravitas, especially in like pop culture, like the Menu and The Bear and stuff like that. Where
fair enough,
it's a little bit silly when you're just making sandwiches. But I guess that's what the show's about. Like it's about so much more. But
it's about why we make the sandwiches, Spencer. I have not started season 2. I like season 1 quite a bit. When you start a show with a refused needle drop, I'm gonna watch your show. If you just want to watch something like from an impressive technical standpoint and not care about the story, I'll try to check which episode it is. There's a great single shot episode that is just, again, stressful as shit. And if that's not what you want in your life right now, then I totally understand why you were like, I don't want to watch The Bear. But it's really, really an impressive episode where you kind of realize you held your breath for like most of it.
Did you watch Extraction 2, like I said?
Oh, God, no. But we watched the trailer.
We just watched it yesterday. Oh, my God.
The trailer is just like, I think it's a Prison Break sequence.
Yeah. Yes,
it looked insane.
Oh, it is.
And I watched it like right after John Wick 4, that trailer. And so I didn't think I could be more excited.
Wick level action. You don't think about Chris Hemsworth as being like a scary person, but like he's actually enormous. And when you light his arm on fire, that just makes him angry. Now he's punching you with fire.
With a firearm.
He does. He's a literal firearm at one point. He has firearms and a firearm.
Awesome. Well, I took yours, Dan. What's your?
It was going to be The Bear. I'm not watching The Bear. There's actually, I don't watch very much of anything on TV anymore. Like I catch up to things slowly. I just finished Ted Lasso, and it's been quote unquote over for 2 months or something. I don't know if it's really over or not. I feel like that's a show that if you had shown me the last episode, like right after I watched the first episode, I would have been like, I'm not watching this show. But like they slowly get you to the place where you need to be to like accept the last episode of the show. Cause like, the last season's weird though. Like they decided like every episode is feature length. Like every episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Feature length, feel good. Spencer, did you ever get on board?
Hate that show. Absolutely hate it. Just the worst. I like the commercials, but it is funny that this is no more original creative endeavor than like the Geico Cavemen sitcom. Like this is a commercial spokesman that they actually made less interesting because he was like kind of a shit kicking like Southern football coach. But then he was like, well, because Donald Trump exists, I'm just going to be nice to everybody at all times. Like this is not compelling television. Everybody comes to him with like, they admit their most like horrible lifelong personal problems. He's like, well, sometimes the rooster crows. Sometimes you just gotta play darts with your dad. And they're like, you're right. I'm kid. They don't let anything bad happen or linger at all before like his little homespun hootenanny like just makes everything fine.
I really think that if Brett Goldstein hadn't been as funny as he is in it, I think that's what held me in when like the sheen of this feels nice and I've been sad.
Do you think people would have attached to it if it hadn't come out during the pandemic?
No. I really don't. I honestly think the big reason it kicked off is because it was the correct execution of the celebrity singing Imagine video.
Yeah, exactly. It was the prestige version of the Imagine video.
Yeah. Just something, just pure saccharine was what a lot of folks needed. Except for Spencer.
Well,
who has no feelings.
I came to it late. There's things that cheer me up. That's bad TV's not one of them.
All right, well, let's see our other segment. Let's see.
That was a good segment.
Low effort podcast of all time, which is fine.
We could put in less effort. I think that
we could.
Yeah,
we could.
Why don't you go to the segment of things that nobody else is going to be interested in, just to really retain the viewership, the audio viewership.
I have always appreciated our the sleepover is about to end because we really need to fall asleep finally energy that we always bring
when we're 4 pre-tape SJUs deep.
I had to actually answer that. Not had to. I because I answer some questions on my channel every week or so, and one of them was about I had just watched this movie fight where you said that the question was, should there be any sequels to Avatar? And you said absolutely not. There shouldn't be. And then there's another one where Roth pitched WandaVision that was so much fun. Did you remember that? And I and it's it's not that I didn't. I love doing movie fights, and I love that people like it, but the thing that when people say, do you remember this? I'm like, you must understand that movie fights was generally, we are 3 cuts deep on an honest trailer that's not working in the middle of a rewrite. And we have SJU the next day, and
somebody dropped out. And
somebody dropped out of SJU, and we have a notes meeting on another video, and it's what time is it? 4:00, and we just run over and do movie fights real quick, and then are right back to what. So it's it's not.
I hope you just hit him with the Raul Julia M. Bison quote of for you that was the best movie fight of your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
I mean, it's the same kind of energy because it's so great that people love that show and they go back and watch it. But I have, other than screaming at you about Sequest, I have little to no functional memory of any movie fight that I ever did. And it's and it's not because I didn't value the experience. It's just that it was just another thing in the middle of the day,
Oh, it's a Groundhog Day ass existence. As you all know, making formatted videos every day of the week.
So technically the segment is not just something that nobody cares about. It's something that one of us cares about, that we are fairly confident the other two have don't really care about in any way, shape, or form. So it's something that is a singular interest to one of us that the other two were fairly sure just don't. It doesn't matter. For example, after the whole Elon Musk thing last time, mine was that they had readjusted the Nielsen ratings to include Peacock so that we could see how Halloween Ends performed on its first weekend of streaming. Something that I'm sure is pretty much only interesting to me.
I am surprisingly annoyed by the Fall Out Boy cover of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Wait, so did they update it as well?
Oh, it's updated. Yeah.
Yeah. So they.
Oh no, I'm intensely interested in this. Okay,
Okay, so based on the reaction I got after I said it, I feel like this fits the segment. So yeah, Fall Out Boy did an update to We Didn't Start the Fire with things from 1985 to present
1989 to 2023. And actually, I have you've inspired me to think of a good clickbait game based on this, but go ahead, Joe.
The thing that I can't get over is that they love We Didn't Start the Fire enough to make a new version of it, but they didn't put the stuff in chronological order. They love the original, but they didn't notice one of the key components of the original song is that he is literally taking us through moments of time.
Wait, it's just a mishmash?
Huh. Yeah, it's just a mishmash
not in order?
of stuff. Yeah, it's Polar Bears Got No Ice, Atari happened.
I mean, the only line I saw was something George Floyd, something Metroid. And I know Metroid came out before George.
You're missing the whole point of the song. The whole song's about escalation. That's
about fire safety.
That's stupid.
I stopped being ranty about it yesterday, and then later last night I was doing the dishes and I just got angry about it again.
Well, I've got a game for Dan. Okay, and you, Joe, if you haven't memorized the song, but don't bring up the lyrics. But I want you, Dan, to just throw out things that happened between 89 and 2023, and try to get as many as you can that are in the Fall Out Boy version of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Between
Basically just
1989,
celebrity names, phenomenons.
Michael Jackson.
Yes, Michael
Yep.
Jackson.
9/11, I would imagine would have to be in there.
It is. They don't say 9/11, but they say second tower falls.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yep.
okay.
Yep, yep.
So,
Two for two. 2 for 2.
George W. Bush.
Bush v. Gore is all they say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bush
Okay.
v. Gore. That counts. Obama. I mean, I think would have to be in there.
Yep.
I mean, the easy ones are the presidents. Trump, I think would have to be in there somewhere.
Trump gets impeached twice. Polar bears got no ice.
No ice.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But there's also like really trivial stuff. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in
Harry
there.
Potter's in there.
I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Yeah. Harry Potter, Twilight. Yeah.
Harry Potter and Twilight. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
There
a lot.
was. I wish to God I could be in the band meeting when they have a big whiteboard and they're like adding events, and they're like, if we don't include this. If we include this genocide, then we don't have room for Twilight. Let's put it to a vote. Pete Wentz, what do you think?
You could tell that they were doing a lot of things that like were big for Fall Out Boy. not necessarily everyone else.
Oh, that's a whole other lens. Jeez. Okay.
Sure. Like there's I just remember there's like a My Chemical Romance thing. And it's like, I think that's important for you.
Yeah, it would be like if Billy Joel like really liked RC Cola.
RC
made
Cola.
Sure it was in the song.
You don't know Billy
it's
Joel.
The third best
obviously.
cola choice.
Wow. Billy Joel really loves RC Cola.
We don't have to do everything, but trust me.
Good game though.
Yeah, anything you can think of that's just like an on the nose reference they made it rhyme.
Yeah.
I think after they covered the Ghostbusters song, they were like, wait, we can do worse.
I forgot about them covering the Ghostbusters song.
Oh, wow. So did I till now. Jeez.
Really?
I've got something I think you guys I know neither of you really probably care about. It's a prospective Star Trek show.
Oh boy.
Called Star Trek Legacy. Which is something that all Star Trek fans now very desperately want, but that like first of all, circumstance and now the writer's strike it's now a question as to whether it's actually going to happen. So Spencer, I don't know, or Joe, have you heard at all about the Star Trek Picard season 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is good.
One of the most improbable turnarounds for a television show I can think of in modern history, like literally following maybe my least favorite Star Trek thing ever with one of my favorite Star Trek things ever. So now people are saying they want this show called Star Trek Legacy, which is basically like the new adventures on this new Enterprise. 7 of 9 is the captain now. She was on Voyager. And they have some new characters. Captain Picard's son is one of them. And then it would be like sort of like guest starring some of the TNG people, Next Generation people. But the thing is, like, that was never in the plan because people didn't think that anyone would want anything after Star Trek Picard was over because people hated the first 2 seasons. So now the fans are like, we want this show. And the big discourse with the Star Trek fan community is will Paramount Plus make this show? Are they going to make Star Trek Legacy? Which I think they should. But given how they've treated the Star Trek franchise in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years, I'm going to guess will never get made.
Yeah, I've got a little insider tidbit for you, Dan, that you'll appreciate. This was years ago.
Okay.
And this was somebody that I met at a party that was writing a Star Trek project on the movie side. And they told me, oh, you work at Fandom. Like, I have to use that all the time in my writing because I don't know anything about Star Trek. It's like, okay.
I mean, that doesn't shock me, honestly, because it seems like the people that are working on Star Trek are people that know everything about it or nothing about it. And generally the people that don't know anything about it seem to often be winning. Luckily, season 3 of Picard, one of the reasons that it did well is because the person running it was someone who knew everything about Star Trek, and they basically let him make a great Star Trek thing, and shocker, it turned out great. But yes, no, I think It's the reinvention bug. It's people like, it's better if you don't. It's better if you don't know anything, because then you're not tied to anything, and it'll be a fresh take.
You can't do that and also be reliant on like elder millennial and Gen X fans to keep coming back to your stuff. Like you can't do both.
Yeah.
There was a Star Trek pun in what you said there, Joe, and I don't even know if you knew it. The Reliant was the name of this ship in Star Trek 2, right?
Oh, nice. A friend, Todd Stashwick, is on Picard, and I want him to keep working because
he's
also
great.
thought he was great on there. Based on the
Yes.
clips that I saw, and I want him to keep having regular work, and so I would very much like the show to be made.
Well, they're gonna have to figure some stuff out. But he had like it was like the intersection of like my life. He had a speech in Star Trek Picard season 3, which is basically like the Star Trek version of Quent's speech in Jaws. And it was like, did you ever see something that you're like, did they make this for me?
Yeah.
Like, did they somehow make
400 red shirts went in?
That's literally the speech, though. Like, it's basically the speech. And I'm watching it. I'm like, is my house bugged? Like, did I consent to something when I had Paramount Plus? Like, it's literally the speech. So I would love that too, because he was fantastic.
I want to watch Picard season 3 because even if I don't understand the thing, I like legacy projects. Like that's why I'm always just like, yeah. Star Trek Generations, love that movie. I not a Star Trek guy, but even as a kid, I was like, I understand that Kirk and Picard hanging out is cool and unprecedented. So I'm gonna watch this movie. I don't know. I like weird legacy projects like that. So I'm in.
I think Paramount's about to hire you. That's about the level of thought that goes into it.
They just might.
They'll probably give the show to Akiva Goldsman. Let's see if he can do it this time. Let's give him one more. It's been 20 years. Let's give him one more chance.
One more chance.
One more chance.
Isn't some Trek stuff getting tax write-offed?
Oh yeah, there's an animated show, Star Trek Prodigy, which was aimed at kids, and kind of
right.
Janeway was in it, and there's a second season in production, currently being worked on, and Paramount was like, show's canceled, second season's not airing on the platform, first season's being removed from the platform, and if we find somebody to license it, then I guess you'll see the second season. But yeah, they took it off and wrote it off. Took it down.
I mean, obviously the whole scam is falling apart, so this point is sort of moot. But like when you built,
can I just say, by the way, very quickly, on SJU years ago, I would often talk about how I didn't understand how any of this was supposed to work. And all I was told was like, you don't understand the business, Dan. You don't understand. Dan. It's like, no, like, I think anybody who was looking at this with a clear head was like, this is a scam. This is not sustainable.
There's only going to be 2 or 3 left in 5 years. Putting down my marker. And Paramount Plus is not going to be one of them. Just guessing. But yeah, good job, Dan. I think you understood the assignment, because I think I went into a fugue state for most of that explanation of the Star Trek Perspective show.
Well, Spencer, I knew that you specifically, if I mentioned Leonard Nimoy's name even, unrelated to Star Trek, I could just sort of see the life drain out of your eyes. So I knew that you would have a specific disinterest in anything related to Star Trek. So.
I love the idea. I love the idea of Star Trek. I just don't like it in practice,
I just didn't. It's Goonies as an adult for me. I didn't start it at the right time, and so I didn't sponge Star Trek lore in time, and so now I watch and I'm like, cool, but like it just didn't. Wrong place, wrong time, man.
You made another Star Trek pun there, because Lore is Data's brother. You don't even know what you're doing, Joe.
Spock. Spencer, what do you care about that we won't care about?
What about men's fashion? That's not of interest to you.
Look at me, Spencer.
I was gonna say.
Absolutely. I've worn the same outfit for literally the entire time you've known me. I have no interest in men's fashion.
Well, mine's even more boring, but it's just like I feel like I told my wife about this and she thinks I'm insane, but I think it actually makes a lot of sense. I bought almost 20 plain white t-shirts, each one from a different brand, to find the perfect fit. And I did, and then I returned the other ones, and it's great. I recommend everybody do that.
What was it?
Well, here I'll tell you, but it's not going to make a difference because everybody's body is different.
That's fair. That's fair.
Comfort Colors is the brand. They're $6 a pop. It's the C1717 heavyweight ring spun. Woo! I'm living good in these bad boys. And I tried everything, and I'm so happy that this was it because this is like $6 a shirt. But I went from $6 to $90 for a single t-shirt, and it's like, well, what can I say? Like, if this one's the best t-shirt in the world, I'll get 2 of them, and I'll like just never spill anything on myself. But it was so interesting. Like, they're all off and bad in different ways. Like, oh, that's too tight here, that's too loose there, or whatever. And then I tried this one on, and it's like, oh yeah.
Now, was it like a double blind test? Did you have the prices removed so that was not a factor in your decision making, or did you know how much it cost?
That's fair.
I knew this was in like the cheap tier, but I wasn't really paying attention to how much each one was, except for the one that there was like a $40 one and a $90 one, which have both been sent back because they weren't even as good. So there you go. I recommend everyone do it.
I want this company to sponsor this podcast.
Yeah, Comfort Colors, hit me up.
Comfort Colors. Betty's a big fan. Now, I like to imagine that you drove to 20 separate places and then to 19 of them again to both buy and return these shirts. But I know that the modern world does not support.
I drove to, one was a Madewell, didn't work out. That one I went to in person, and
ironic.
And a J. Crew, nope, had to drive that one back. But the others, the other like 17 were from like one like wholesale shirt supplier or something like that.
Now, I actually think this is fascinating because I will tell you the best what is Joe wearing compliment I've ever gotten was actually when we saw you at your birthday, Dan, and Spencer looked at me and then looked at my wife and said, "Did you do this?" And she said, "Uh-huh." And he said, "Good job." I was like, yes, it
High praise.
High praise, baby. Very high praise.
There was a distinct lack of was it the Yojimbo trucker hat?
Yeah. Which
by the way is cool again and would probably sell for a lot on eBay, but that's because the early 2000s are stylish again. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's weird to see this stuff coming back.
Yeah,
frosted tips and
some Jinko jeans. Jinkos did genuinely come back a couple years ago, and I think they were just too soon.
Yeah, one of my dreams is to raise some capital and bring back like No Fear or Big Johnson or Big Dog. So like one of those defunct 90s t-shirt brands.
Please bring back No Fear shirts.
Yeah, come up with new puns and
100%. Oh no, Jinko is back. You can go jinko.com, man. Look at how wide these jeans are.
I got a vintage pair somewhere in the bins over there. I got to get them out. I got to dig them out.
Spenny, maybe we go in on this, but like his and hers bride and groom Jinkos for Dan and Mara, like perfect. Embroidered.
Well, listen, when we do that unboxing and ranking video, just don't be surprised where you end up. That's all I'm going to say is,
Dan's acting surprised. Who got me all these Comfort Colors t-shirts?
Oh, another pair of Jinkos. And so, custom color white t-shirts.
Trust me, they're perfect. Look at the way it cups the shoulder.
Do they have a knob on the front that you can pull to keep it from bunching?
All right, we have organically. I think you should leave. That's
let's call it. I when I get back from vacation, I'm gonna be a new man. Mexico Spenny is gonna come back with a head full of ideas and a nice tan. And more energy.
Weirdly, I've called you Mexico Spenny for years. I don't know why.
We have Joe and I privately, for whatever reason, called you Mexico Spenny behind your back. So I'm glad.
That's my favorite. My favorite alias. I want to say it was Michael Vick. I think his other scandal. Not the. Well, no, I don't want to get it wrong because I want to get the guy right. Was it Anthony Weiner? Somebody used the name Ron Mexico as an alias.
No, wasn't Anthony Weiner Carlos Danger?
He was Carlos Danger.
Yeah, he was Carlos Danger. Yeah.
No, this says Michael Vick is Ron Mexico.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Mexico, and when someone asks you your name at a Mexican pharmacy, you say Ron Mexico when you can't think of anything else.
It's the worst version of the ending of Usual Suspects when he's looking around. He sees,
I'm Kaiser detective.
there's a guy with a name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Ron." And he's like, "Ron," and then he looks around a few more times and just says the entire nation of Mexico.
We made an after credits based on that. I wonder if it ever came out.
Probably not. I don't think most of them ever did. We
That's
wrote so many more that never even got produced.
Those were good.
Yeah.
That was one of my
show.
favorite things. They were unhinged, and very good.
Well,
go to Mexico, Spencer. We'll see you later.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Adios.
All right. Say hi to
Nice
Ron.
to see you, gents.
And yeah. All right. We're gonna end the recording.
Thanks, Dan.
See you in 1 month to 1 to 8. I'll see you next time or at the wedding. Oh yeah, let's do a post clap. That actually might help. Real quick. Ready? There we go.
Nailed it. Bye, boys.